You know, it's funny. Cats, they really have this knack for, well, taking over. Like, they're everywhere. Ancient pyramids, sure. But also, like, the entire internet, right?
Yeah.
They've really weaseled their way into every corner of history and culture. So today, we are diving into, I think, a pretty fascinating subject, the history of cats.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to unravel how these enigmatic creatures went from, like, stealthy wildcats
Hmm.
to the rulers of our sofas, right?
Right.
And to help us guide us, we have an expert in cultural anthropology and animal domestication. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I have to say, the story of cat domestication, it never gets old.
Now, I've heard this whole self-domestication thing about cats. Unlike my dog, who I swear trained me to throw the tennis ball, cats kind of, like, chose their own adventure, right?
Yeah.
What makes their path to domestication so unique?
That's a great question. You see dogs, right, they were bred by
Yeah.
humans, right,
Yeah.
over the thousands of years for, specific tasks.
Like hunting,
Yeah.
herding, all that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Cats, though, cats took a more, well, you could say roundabout route. They basically domesticated themselves through this process called commensalism.
Commensalism.
Yeah.
Okay, break that down.
So essentially it means two species develop a relationship, right, where one benefits but the other one,
Yeah.
neither harmed nor helped. So think about like those birds that hang around hippos.
Okay.
They snatch up insects.
Oh, right.
So in the case of cats, it all started with agriculture, the dawn of agriculture. Picture this, right? The Fertile Crescent, around 9,000 years ago, humans are storing grain, which inadvertently creates a haven for,
Rodents.
yes, rodents.
Ah.
Enter the clever, opportunistic wildcat.
So instead of chasing gazelles, they're like, hey, all-you-can-eat rodent buffet at the local granary.
Precisely. Cats, with their hunting skills, they were naturally drawn to these rodent hotspots. And humans, well, we were very happy to have these furry exterminators keeping our grain stores safe. It was a win-win, really, that over time just blossomed into, well, the domesticated relationship we see today.
9,000 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time to perfect that purr and the art of napping in sunbeams. But it's incredible to think this self-domestication, this commensal relationship, that's what set the stage for their global takeover. Makes you wonder, did we invite them in, or did they, cleverly engineer their way into our lives?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It speaks to the enduring mystery of cats. But one thing's for sure, once they, decided to become our companions, they did it on their own terms. Classic cat move, really.
So from those early days in the Fertile Crescent, how did cats go from, expert pest controllers to, well, objects of worship?
Well, that takes us to the land of pharaohs and pyramids, ancient Egypt, where the cat's status, well, it reached divine levels.
Ancient Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
A civilization where cats weren't just pets, right? Like, they were practically deities.
It really is something.
I have to admit, the image of, like, ancient Egyptians just showering cats with adoration, offerings,
Yeah.
It's pretty captivating.
Yeah.
What was it about cats that resonated so deeply with their culture?
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it, to understand, like, the Egyptian reverence for cats. I think we have to remember that their society, it was so intertwined with, with the natural world. Animals weren't just animals, right? They were embodiments of spiritual forces. Powerful symbols in their, beliefs, their everyday life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no cat really embodies this more than Bastet,
Right.
the cat goddess.
Exactly. Bastet, often depicted with, a woman's body and a cat's head. Or, sometimes as this fierce lioness. She was far more than just a cat goddess. She represented protection, fertility, motherhood, even like the home, the hearth, She was a force to be reckoned with, but also like a source of warmth, comfort.
So, like, the ultimate embodiment of everything cats represented to the Egyptians.
Precisely.
Wow.
And this reverence, it wasn't just like symbolic harming a cat in ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
Even accidentally.
Oh.
Not taken lightly. Let's just say that.
I've heard rumors of, like, some pretty severe punishments for that.
Let's just put it this way. Harming a cat could land
well.
you in some serious trouble.
Okay.
Potentially even facing,
Yeah.
the death penalty.
Whoa.
And it wasn't just, about protecting living cats. Their afterlife, that was just as important.
That's right. The Egyptians were famous for their elaborate mummification practices.
Right.
And cats were no exception. Have archaeologists found any, like, particularly interesting cat burial sites?
Oh, absolutely. All over Egypt, archaeologists have unearthed these massive cat cemeteries. We're talking like thousands of mummified cats. And these weren't just, your average pet burials. No, these felines were often interred with like elaborate decorations, offerings, even tiny, like these intricately designed sarcophagi. It's really something.
It really highlights the depth of their spiritual connection to these creatures. I mean, just imagine the work that went into, preparing these animals for the afterlife.
It's incredible. They really believed that honoring cats in life and death, it would bring them closer to the divine,
Right.
especially Bastet's, protection and favor.
It paints such a vivid picture of a civilization that really like saw something like divine in the eyes of a cat. But, from those lofty heights of like Egyptian reverence, the journey of cats takes a bit of a, well, I don't know, an unfortunate turn, right?
Sadly, yes. The reverence they enjoyed in ancient Egypt, it wouldn't last. As we move into the Middle Ages, a very different picture of, the human-cat relationship emerges. One that's, well, it's shrouded in a lot more superstition, fear.
The Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Not exactly like the best time to be a cat, huh?
No, not really.
What happened? Like, how do we go from, divine reverence to like being persecuted?
Well, it is a fascinating but kind of dark chapter in their story. With the rise of Christianity in Europe, there was this like wave of new anxieties, superstitions, and cats, especially black cats, unfortunately, they kind of ended up on the wrong side of that.
So from sacred symbols to something to be scared of. I mean, that's a big jump.
It is, and it's black cats. I mean, they're sleek, they embody darkness. They they became kind of entwined with this growing fear of witchcraft.
Right.
They were seen as like demonic familiars, or witches in disguise, harbingers of misfortune, evil.
And this wasn't just like, a passing superstition. This fear had real consequences.
Oh, absolutely. Cats were persecuted, killed in huge numbers. And, kind of ironically, this might have actually made one of the deadliest pandemics in history even worse, the Black Death.
Right, the bubonic plague. This is where it all, like, ties together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So less cats, right, means more rodents. And those rodents carried the fleas that, well, they carried the plague.
It's a stark reminder that, messing with the balance of nature, it can have, well, pretty devastating consequences. But thankfully, while Europe was dealing with these superstitions, cats in other parts of the world, they were busy with other cultural narratives.
Exactly. The world is a big, diverse place.
Oh.
And cats, well, they're adaptable. Take Japan, for example.
Right.
They were celebrated as symbols of good luck and prosperity.
Oh, Japan. The land of the maneki neko.
Right.
The beckoning cat. Gotta love them. With their little paw up, like they're waving in good fortune.
It's a perfect image, really. Embodies how the Japanese saw cats. Inviting wealth, prosperity, even customers into businesses. Quite a contrast from what was going on in Europe, huh?
Total opposite.
Yeah.
It's amazing how, like, one animal can have such different meanings in different cultures.
It really is. Shows you the power of perception, I think. How that shapes our view of, well, of the natural world. And it's not just Japan. You find cats in folklore, mythology, all over the globe.
We've talked about Egypt, Japan. What about, like, Norse mythology? They pop up there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. In Norse mythology, cats are linked to Freyja, the goddess of love, beauty, fertility. She's often shown with a chariot, right? And guess what's pulling it?
Not cats.
2 large cats, symbolizing, her connection to passion, I guess. Wild, untamed beauty, that sort of thing.
A chariot pulled by cats. That's an image. So from like fierce hunters to, deities to witches, familiars to what symbols of luck, chariot pullers for Norse goddesses, cats have really seen it all.
Right. They have, haven't they? But, through it all, it's their charm, their elegance, and let's face it, their air of mystery. That's what's won us over.
Yeah.
Fast forward to like the Victorian era.
Right.
Cats are popular again, especially as pets, companions.
Queen Victoria, she was a big cat person, right?
She was, and that coincided with this broader change. People started keeping pets more and more. The Victorians, they really started to appreciate animals, not just for like what they could do, but for their companionship, the joy they brought. And cats, they fit right in.
They do have that elegant but demanding thing going on.
That's right, yeah.
And since then, cats have just, well, they've kind of taken over.
Yeah.
They're our companions. They're internet stars. They're part of the family. We could probably do a whole nother deep dive just on like their amazing abilities.
Recently.
Their night vision, the way they like always land on their feet. Even their purrs. Right.
Yeah.
They might have, like, healing powers.
It's true. Their purrs, they actually fall within this frequency range, right? And it's been shown to help tissue regeneration, even reduce stress.
Wow.
It's pretty remarkable.
So from, ancient Egypt to our living rooms and, of course, our social media feeds, cats are, well, they're everywhere. They've been worshipped, feared, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
But their allure, their mystery, it hasn't gone anywhere.
It makes you wonder, have we really domesticated them, or have they in their own way domesticated us? It's a question for the ages, really. Maybe the answer is, in the purr of a cat curled up on your lap.
Maybe it is. A big thank you to our expert for, walking us through the history of our feline friends. I don't know about you, but I think I'm going to go give my cat some extra treats. They've earned it.